know a different Charleston white than most people know. I do. And a lot of people will sit there and say, again, I was responding to a lot of the comments because I be going back and forth with the people. I engage with the people. They know who the fuck I am. And they say, oh, y'all are going to fall out inevitably, da-da-da-da. And I'm always like, you got to understand differences of dynamics in grown men versus kids and who falls out with people and who doesn't.
Grown men don't fall out with each other. Two grown men don't fall out, homie. They can have a disagreement, they can have a misunderstanding. The misunderstanding eventually comes to an understanding between two grown men. Mm-hmm. Right. It's only the two boys. It's only the two boys with pride, emotion, and ego that gets in the way of a logical understanding.
Yeah. And sometimes people drift apart. You know what I mean? But that's also how like real grown men actually handle real issues. They'll like drift apart, but they won't be sitting there talking bullshit to each other all the time. But here's the reason I say this. I know through and through that you got a good heart.
Good intentions.
So I can't believe that you actually see what happened to the child and it doesn't bother you that this happened to a child.
I didn't see what happened to the child. I saw what happened to the father. None of us saw the child get shot. None of us did. So I didn't see what happened to the child. But it's no difference than me seeing on the news that a 5-year-old child was murdered with her father. And then seeing that a building in Iraq or Afghanistan was blown up and 12 children was killed in this mishap. It's no difference. I have no emotional attachment. Now I can put myself in the father's shoes and say, man, but I can't, I don't know that baby.
That's what I was going to say. People would say, but don't you have kids?
I don't know that baby. Kids die every day in this country. I can think of a particular case about 5 years ago in Chicago, and I interviewed this father. He was getting into it with some on Facebook, on social media, and went and picked his baby up and went to McDonald's through a drive-thru. Them saw him at the drive-thru and shot up the car and killed his baby. They went back online and bragged about it. It wasn't no outrage for this. Just last year in this same city, Fort Worth, Texas, 2 babies was killed with their father at a car wash. It was no outrage. So I keep reminding black people that it's only an outrage when it's a celebrity, a popular rapper. But when it's a common person, you don't have the same outrage. You can go to your local news.
You think people wanted you to have more of a say about it because it's from your own?
Man, listen. Motherfuckers want to hate me because I'm the nigga they love to hate. No matter what I do, right or wrong, good or bad, if I go to jail for something I did, they said, so nigga, it ain't about what. It's just that because American black people have been conditioned, programmed, and trained to respond to what they feel emotionally. This group of black people is emotionally responsive. That's why they can't come together and plan and organize and strategize for a right kind of protest, because they do it out of emotion. They can't organize a new civil rights movement. They can't, because they emotionally respond. They're going to start arguing. They're going to start fighting, because that's what the media use to control black people, is to tap into their emotion. It's called evoke their emotions. They're not provoking their thoughts. They're evoking their emotions. So imagine, more people were mad at me about what I said than the actual who killed the babies. We keep believing in the streets. Street justice is go get them. I don't know not one street that says, say y'all, let's go get in our car and ride and go look for these. I don't know nobody from the streets that says, say, let's put together a fugitive team to go find these.
Vigilante.
I don't know no street niggas that got together and said, okay, they done told us and showed us who these niggas is. Let's go shoot up they homeboys' houses. Let's go shoot up the mama houses. Nigga, it wasn't no consequences to the death of this baby in this other than black people being online with their emotions. So nigga, I'm gonna come along and say, okay, I did an interview with Say Cheese TV. I was very respectful. I was very empathetic. I was very compassionate and spoke with the utmost respect to this rapper and his baby. Only for the mother to come back a few days later to have something to say about my Say Cheese TV interview. Bitch, fuck your baby, hoe.
What did she say to you?
She didn't say nothing to me, but she went publicly speaking against me and Say Cheese TV about the interview. And the interview actually was a great interview. And I actually held back from what I should have been really talking about. This got killed with his baby. But let's just be real. The streets been talking. The streets say he got robbed. He got hit for. He's known as the best gambler in Texas. And this why I fuck with these and he rappers about having this kid, Lil King, around gambling. Homie, we don't know no gambling ever ended good. All big gambling games leads in robberies and deaths and murders. You can go back to the popular jeweler nigga that got killed with Boosie and them. Takeoff. Takeoff got killed at the gambling game. So homie, we don't know no gambling game that ends good. It's always some niggas in they motherfucking feelings about something.
Lose, yeah.
So the word on the streets is the rapper who got killed with his baby got hit for $40,000 on the dice. He's known as the best gambler in Texas. He get hit for $40,000. Him and his little partner set up to get robbed and hit him for the $40,000. Weeks before he get killed. And you riding around the city with no pistol, no strap, no nothing. And your right-hand man is known for kicking up dust and killing people. Not only that, y'all done rolled off and robbed the Mexican plug, the Mexican cartel, for 200 pounds of weed. And this Mexican cartel is a Mexican that is cold with it. But they don't want to talk about that. You got your baby killed. You got your baby killed.
But see, I agree with you on that part, but for me, and this is just my personal opinion, obviously we're two different people, my remorse for the child of a sinner and the child of a saint is the same.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm real enough to say, homie, if I don't know you, I'm not bothered by it. I watch the news all the time and see a kid that got killed and got shot. For a brief moment, you empathize as a parent. Once the news go off, man, I don't give a damn about that baby no more.
You know what's proof of that? Amber Alert.
There you go, homie.
Every time somebody phone go off, Amber Alert, Amber Alert.
Man, they get mad at the Amber Alert.
Yeah.
You know.
And not only that, homie, how many motherfuckers drive through the school zone texting and driving?
And I'll keep it 100, right? I was having I didn't know about this situation at all. I was having a conversation with Woody on a live. And he was telling me that he was bothered about a 5-year-old girl that had passed. I was telling him, regardless of any situation that we see in the 24 hours, right? We can't allow something to break us that we see on the news. We have to somehow remain positive and live our lives. There's people out there that throughout their days will turn on the news and see
here's my
death.
thing, homie. If you care so much about children, why did you go to jail on your own kids? If y'all care that much about kids, you went to jail on your own kids. You care so much about kids, you don't sit down and help your kids with their school homework when they get out of school. You leave for them to fend for themselves. You care so much about kids, but you don't wake up in the morning and make sure your children get breakfast, which is the most important meal of the day. You care so much about kids. You don't, as a father, you don't go pick your kids up like you supposed to, like the court order said, but you complain about child support. The court order says, at least in the state of Texas, you get your kids the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th of every month. The first week, the third week, the fifth week of every month. You ain't adhering to that. Complaining about the child support. You curse so much about kids. You and your baby mama don't even like each other, where y'all can't even get along for the best interest of your child, but you care about a kid you don't even know that got shot. Man, y'all miss me with the bullshit. And let me just say this, homie. I hear people say all the time, women and children have always been off limits. That's a goddamn lie. Homie, women and children have always been the casualties of the street shit. Always, homie. The cartel kill kids, kill women. The niggas go in, if you ain't done something, nigga, they'll hold your woman hostage. I know some that kidnapped a little sister and raped her from Texas to Arkansas. Shot her and buried her in the woods. A little girl. I know a that was looking to kill my homeboy Joe Blow in the 90s when they was kids. And in the process killed a 5-year-old little boy. He's still a G. Trying to do a drive-by. We forgot about the gang-banging era. How many innocent women and children were shot doing drive-bys, fighting at the high school basketball games. We can go back to 4 years ago when the baby got shot at Lenox Mall at Christmas time with her father. Didn't nobody have no outrage? But because it's a popular rapper, now it's outrage. Men miss me with that bullshit. I don't care about nothing that ain't connected to me. And I'm just gonna be real. I wouldn't give a damn if the baby across the street died. I don't know my neighbors to care that much about them and the baby. That baby. And I got to pay rent next month. I'm paying $15,000, $20,000 a month in bill. Man, that baby. Y'all care about it. And one thing I noticed, when the family dropped the GoFundMe, that GoFundMe struggled to get to reach its goal. As many people that were sharing the video about this getting killed, they wasn't sharing their GoFundMe. They wasn't donating to their GoFundMe, so they can't care that much. So man, miss me with that bullshit.
I saw a lot of people coming to your defense about the way the mother of the child was on live smoking hookah, celebrating,
drinking Don Julio. That's that whole mama. That's that whole mama I be trying to educate the black culture about. Ain't nothing worse than the whole mama. The popping, the drunk whole mama, hip hop culture list. That whole mama. That's the whole mama.
I saw a lot of people say I could see just based on that video why the father had possession of the child. Her actions.
Homie, the father was a player type. I can't take that from him. He was a player type. But his little group was some gangster killing little. And they've been warring in the city for at least 10 years. I first went to the school district about this group. I've been fighting with these little boys. I've been fighting with these boys since they were teenagers. I've been fighting with the school district, I've been fighting with the police, and I've been fighting with these boys in the after-school program about these little boys. Hood fame. So this ain't nothing new to me.
Right.
This ain't nothing new, homie. But everybody thought it was cool just last year. When Go Yayo was at home and he was going to the south side, going on this street, CJ Casino, they thought it was cool then. They were clapping, sitting back watching. But you gotta who's a well-known popular rapper in the city who made a song talking about this death before this death happened. They robbed the Mexican cartel, homie.
Rules of engagement, you saying?
They robbed the Mexican cartel, homie.
Is part of it because it's from the hometown? Is that like insult to injury? Well,
I've been fighting against these young niggas and these same. I know the niggas who killed him. So I've been fighting, not just fighting with, working with to help these same young niggas, fighting against, fighting for, and working with these same little group of little motherfuckers, homie. That's how I got hip to drill music. And with this little group of killers. So it's just like in the Gilly situation. When Gilly's son first got murdered, I showed compassion. My good friend, Kareem Blitz, is a very well influential community leader out of New York City. Me and him was on a live, and he was fit to tear into Gilly. I got into it with my because I wouldn't let him do that when it initially happened. So initially, I showed compassion, didn't speak ill will or nothing. As months went on, once Gilly said what he said, once I extend my compassion and allow myself to be vulnerable, and you reject that, yo, dead son, bitch ass, your mama too and the dog too, everything. Because I don't allow myself to be vulnerable. Yeah, no, nigga, you can't do me like that.
It's just tough for me to hear you talk like that, knowing you how I know you.
Well,
I can't help but feel like
you can't hurt me. That's what I'm telling you, nigga. You can't.
I feel like it's sensationalism.
I can't say I'm sorry, and you don't accept my sorry. You hurt me.
That's a wrong.
The apology, y'all ain't meaning no way. That apology, nigga. Yeah, nigga, that's to make me feel better. But I don't like apologizing. It don't feel good to apologize, nigga.
Nobody does.
It don't feel good to apologize.
Yeah, because you're essentially just admitting you're wrong.
You're leaving yourself to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You're actually you're submitting to the nature of saying I'm wrong. It leaves you vulnerable.
Right.
And for a motherfucker to say, "Fuck you, mother."
I feel good if it's received.
It feels great to receive, man. I forgive you. So you gotta think, homie. I caught a murder case when I was a kid, 14 years old. I literally got to meet my victim's family in a transfer court hearing and hear these people say, "We forgive you." I got to hear a family say, "We took the life of their family. We forgive you." I got to hear that, look it and see it, experience it. So I know what it's like to be forgiven. You better not forgive me. My woman, man, you better not. I'm sorry and you don't forgive me. We become enemies after that.